What's up guys, Dylan here from AYCB, back for another how to play video from All You Can Board, and today we're looking at Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising. And right off the bat I just want to thank USAopoly for sending us this copy to create some content on. So Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising is a cooperative game, and it has a lot of dice rolling, dice drafting mechanics. It's a card drafting thrown in there as well. Each player takes on the role of a wizard in one of three affiliations, either Hogwarts, Order of the Phoenix, or Dumbledore's army. And you'll be working together to try to take down Lord He Who Must Not Be Named, as well as his Death Eater army. And you'll be doing that by rolling dice and assigning the die faces, the different traits, to different cards in order to recruit new wizards or to defeat Death Eaters. So let me show you how to play. So after you construct the main game board, place each pair of place cards on their respective locations face up in random order. All your spell tokens can be put in a pile face down next to your damage and corruption counters. Each player will choose an affiliation and then collect your headquarters card and choose a starting character. Note that two players can choose the same affiliation. Now, shuffle the remaining character cards in the box, including all other starting characters and all the Death Eaters, to form a deck. Draw 3 cards for each location on the board and place them face up next to it. And finally, place He Who Must Not Be Named in the middle of the deck. You can place the villain card within reach of all the players as well, and make sure all the dice are within reach too. And that's it, you're ready to play. So there are 4 phases to a turn, and the game basically continues from player to player until they are victorious by defeating He Who Must Not Be Named, or until they lose, and there's a few different loss conditions that we'll go over afterwards. So let me take you through those 4 phases so you understand how a turn works. First, you'll travel to a location. To do so, simply choose one of the 3 locations on the board and place your mission token on it. You'll only be able to interact with characters at the location that you choose. For the second phase, you roll the green He Who Must Not Be Named die, and if you roll an R or an L, you rotate the statue in the middle of the table either right or left, and this will designate the location he will be attacking as well as which Death Eaters will be activating this turn. If you roll the dark mark, however, the statue doesn't move at all, but all Death Eaters activate in every location around the board. When He Who Must Not Be Named deals damage to all wizards at the location, add a red damage counter to every wizard there, including any you have recruited and are in your possession if you are at that location. Next, add a corruption counter to the location being attacked. And finally, activate the abilities of any Death Eaters that are in that location as well. Also, as a final step, if this is the final corruption counter on the location, the penalty on that location card is now triggered. So the third phase is to roll, assign, and resolve your dice. So every character in the game starts with 4 dice. They'll be listed for you on your headquarters card. There'll be 4 dice in different colors listed there. Those are the dice that you'll automatically be able to roll with, and then any abilities you have on other wizards that you've collected are going to add more dice to that pool for you. Each color of die is favored towards that color's symbol and features a double in that symbol. You'll want to utilize your starting character's die strengths to have the best chance of acquiring new wizards and defeating Death Eaters. After you've rolled all 4 dice, you must assign at least 1 to a character at your location, an ability on your headquarters card, or an ability on a wizard on your team. You cannot choose not to assign a die, and if you're unable to assign any of them, you must choose one to forfeit. After you've selected one to keep or forfeit, you'll basically roll all the remaining ones and do this entire process again, choosing at least 1 to assign or forfeit, and you'll do this until you've assigned or forfeited every single die that's in your pool. After you've assigned all dice, you will check to see which characters you've successfully recruited by filling in all their trait symbols, or which Death Eaters you have successfully defeated. Any successfully completed abilities can also be activated now. Note you can't match the symbols on Death Eater cards multiple times to deal multiple damage to them. And the final phase is super easy. It's just the end turn phase. It's kind of like a cleanup phase. So you're going to take any wizards that you successfully recruited now and actually add them to your team. Any Death Eaters that you defeated, you're going to take them off of that location as well, put them into the defeated Death Eater section next to the villain card. All your dice now return to the dice pool for other players to be able to use on their turn. You're going to grab your mission token from that location, return it to your supply as well, and then any wizards that were defeated, had all of their health spots filled in with damage counters, they're also considered defeated now, and you're going to move them to the defeated wizard section of the villain card, and that'll complete the cleanup phase, and then it basically just goes on to the next player, and you're going to repeat this process for every single player, and that's basically how the game plays. So I mentioned before that even though the only way that you can win is by defeating He Who Must Not Be Named, there are multiple ways you can lose. I'm going to go over each of those now so that you understand all the things you're trying to avoid when you're playing this game. So just to elaborate a little bit on winning, you must draw He Who Must Not Be Named from the deck, at which point it gets placed on the villain card. You must then defeat him at that point to win the entire game. In order to attack him, you must be on the same location that the statue is pointing to. However, you can only deal an amount of damage to him equal to the number of Death Eaters you have defeated. Thus, you must defeat 5 Death Eaters before it is possible to deal 5 damage to him and win the game. Because the statue can move after players choose their location, you have the option to redeploy your team before rolling dice. To do this, forfeit one of your dice immediately and then move your mission token to the location of He Who Must Not Be Named. You are now in his location for the turn and can attack him if you'd like to. Okay, now the ways you can lose, and there's a few. If a certain number of overall wizards are defeated, you lose. That's 8 for 2 players, 10 for 3 players, and 12 for 4 players. If any one player has all their wizards defeated, everyone loses. If 4 or more place cards are corrupted, that's also a loss. And finally, if any one location is completely corrupted, meaning both place cards and the base location on the board itself, you lose as well. And really that's all there is to it. The only last thing I'll mention is that whenever you damage a Death Eater by covering up all their traits, you're going to actually get one of these spell tokens, and when you flip it over, they're going to have different effects for you. Some of them will give you additional temporary dice, allow you to swap cards with other players, all good things. So when you want to try to damage as many Death Eaters as you can just to get those spell tokens to give you a little extra boost. But really, that's all there is to it. That's how you play Harry Potter Death Eaters Rise, and I hope this helped you get this to the table just a little bit quicker. And if it did, leave us a comment and let us know, or leave a like on the video, or better yet, subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to support us in everything that we're doing. Otherwise, I really hope this helped you out. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your quest to defeat Lord Voldemort.